Rock 102.1 KFMA's Beef Vegan presents, and it's time for another round of Cancel Court. The celebrity in question, you can weigh in on whether or not this person should be canceled by calling us at 600 KFMA. Let's get into it.
Beef Vegan presents Cancel Court.
I got court ID. I'm in. Who's on trial?
All right, I'll be the judge. Mari is the prosecutor. Mari, who is on trial in this week's Cancel Court?
All right, so are you familiar with Awkwafina?
I am familiar with Awkwafina. I've not seen Shang-Chi yet, but I know that she's in that movie, and I've actually been a fan of hers for quite some time. I've seen her kind of like rise from this like hip-hop artist / comedian on Wild and Out, and then being in the film like Neighbors.
Crazy Rich Asians?
Crazy Rich Asians. I actually haven't seen it, but I know that she's in it.
It's good.
That's what people say. But yeah, okay, so Awkwafina, why is she in Cancel Court?
Awkwafina. So while promoting the movie, Shang-Chi, she was asked point blank, like just straight up, about whether she considered her past work appropriation. Because some people accuse her of using a blaccent in her movies and whatnot.
It's not even an accusation. It's just fact-accusation.
It is.
She is
kind of fact.
She 100% has always used blaccent in those kind of roles in
kind
a
of
character.
100%.
Yeah, but also as like a hip-hop artist too.
Right. Right.
That is interesting that they bring it up now that she's like kind of moving into that A-list territory and being in Marvel films. And I'm assuming, and I haven't seen Shang-Chi yet, but I'm assuming she'll be around the Marvel universe for quite some time. I think her role is pretty prominent.
Right.
So it's a big deal.
That's a big movie too.
Yeah.
For future movies.
I actually have audio and video of the question of her, getting this question. And this is her response. Let's hear what Awkwafina says when asked about her using blaccent in movies.
I'm open to the conversation. I think it, it really is something that I think is a little bit multifaceted and layered. And so, yeah.
Ooh, yeah, you could tell that she was put on the spot there and she went to the straight PR response. What to do. I'm surprised she wasn't like, okay, yo, check this out. My bad. Right? But yeah, okay, so Awkwafina, again, former hip-hop artist. She's not doing it anymore. She kind of evolved into this Hollywood starlet, which nobody even saw coming, to be honest with you. She was super funny, but she was being cast several times over as the Asian girl with the blaccent.
Totally.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was just her character type.
Yeah, that was her character. And in a way, that was also her. That was how she would, talk. I think she's from New York, if I'm not mistaken, or back east somewhere. And to do that, it wouldn't be the first time you've heard, someone of Asian descent having a blaccent in a hip hop community. So the question is, should Awkwafina be canceled for using blaccent? 600 KFMA. I'm going to say this. I got a verdict already. I don't even need to go to the phones.
Let me hear it.
These films like Crazy Rich Asians, Ocean's 8, Neighbors, Wild and Out, they were casting Awkwafina as the Asian girl with the blaccent. So that's what they wanted. They kept casting her. It wasn't necessarily like, you have to use blaccent in this. They're like, we need someone like Awkwafina, someone who has a blaccent who's Asian. So if you're going to cancel anybody, cancel the director of Ocean's 8. Cancel Crazy Rich Asians for using it. Cancel any of the roles that casted her. In fact, actually typecasted her. Totally. They typecasted Awkwafina as the Asian girl with the blaccent.
They did.
So now that she's actually moving away from that,
now they're bringing it up.
They're calling it cultural appropriation. Her rapping could be considered cultural appropriation. I call it cultural appreciation, honestly.
Right.
When, Awkwafina's rapping, or when she was a hip hop artist, she loved the music of hip hop and, would pay respects by emulating it to a certain extent. And it never came off as fake or hokey. And if you start like canceling people for blaccent in character, and this is her being a comedic character.
Right.
Then you have to do that with all past movies like Jamie Kennedy and Malibu's Most Wanted.
Right.
Even though that was an obvious satire and character.
Totally.
And I know this by heart because my name is Brad as well. And people have been calling me B-Rad ever since. So F you, Jamie Kennedy. You should be canceled. Fortunately enough for me, he ruined his own career.
He did.
So, to sum it up, Awkwafina is found not guilty and should not be canceled. And we hope that she has many more, Marvel movies in the future. And still a pretty good response. She's open to the conversation. So at least that's a start.
Yeah, that was a good response for sure.
Yeah, but that's a response that you get taught.
Yeah.
As they're like, hey, as we start going into this, if you're going to cast you in Marvel movies, this might happen. And if they ask you this question, you got to say this. I'll do this again. Say this next time they ask you.
I'm open to the conversation. I think
that's someone like who's butt tightened up a little bit, right? When they ask, you kind of clench.
Yeah. Oh, totally with the
Yeah, you could hear the clenching happen. So there you go. But don't worry, Awkwafina, we found you. Yeah, we found you not guilty. All right, coming up next, we're going to talk all things Emmys. There's a lot of cringeworthy moments that we need to share with you, and we'll be doing that after Green Day. So stick around. Rock 102.1 KFMA.